Welcome to the Leadership Exposé podcast. This podcast is for purpose-driven leaders at diverse levels and organizations around the world who are seeking to scale and transform their leadership, to level up their business, and to create an impact on the lives of people all around them. Business and boardroom topics, trends, innovation, transformation, and the intersection with leadership is the focus. We enable success. I'm your host, Stephen Paul. In this episode, I am delighted to have with me Ricardo Reis. He is a leader in his own right in the industry of real estate, but he's also an author, a speaker with extensive experience in leading organizations. Ricardo, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, Stephen. It's a big pleasure to be here with you and your audience.
Wonderful.
Hello, everybody.
Wonderful, Ricardo. Just before we started the podcast, we were exchanging where we're based. As you know, I'm based here in London, UK. Tell us, for the audience purposes, where are you based?
Yes, we are based in Brazil, São Paulo, the capital of South America. We had a big election yesterday, so we are a new world today. It's a very big country in Brazil, and we have a lot of real estate business going on.
Yeah, no, wonderful. I've been to Sao Paulo a couple of times. I know it was a while ago, but I've been there. Such a beautiful place, and I was in Brazil, most of the cities as well. I must say, you're very lucky to be in one of the great places on earth.
Yes, it's huge, a huge country and a beautiful place, nice people. Where we have people from all around the world. It's an immigrant country, and we have a good relation with our Arabic, Jewish, Christians, and all the religions and all the cultures. That's the one of the biggest assets in Brazil is the people we have and the way of life, the easy way of life Brazilians have.
Yeah, no, wonderful. And I know you just touched on the elections. We'll come to elections and the economic impacts as well to what you're doing. But very keen to hear about you, Ricardo. I mean, tell us a little bit more about your your personal journey and your professional journey, into what you're doing currently, briefly.
Okay, thank you. I work in real estate for more than 40 years already, developing, managing, building, selling. In Brazil, I had some experience in New York too when I was younger. We developed a small building in Miami Beach too. And I've worked here in Brazil with small, medium, and the largest corporations, listed corporations. And we did all kind of work. Developing the biggest buildings we could here in Curitiba, some in São Paulo, and besides that experience in the ground, I am an engineer, civil engineer. I am also a lawyer, computer science. I did a master's in science in Sorbonne at France. And now I'm doing a doctorate in business in France too. So a lot of work and a lot of studying too. And also I
Amazing.
coordinate a real estate post-graduation, real estate with IBMEC, which is one of the capital market schools in Brazil. And now with University of France, we are doing the same course, which is a big success here in Brazil.
Amazing. As you were just describing, you mentioned three different domains. One was engineer, two is building, three is law. These are all very diverse, and I'm curious, Ricardo. I mean, how did you? Has this always been the case from young age that you have always wanted to have a diversified view of careers and life, and now that you're focusing on real estate, have you just always been very curious about doing different things?
Yes, the common ground is real estate. So everything I've studied and work is to have a better, more success in real estate business, which is one of the most difficult business in the world. It's very hard to make money. It's very easy to lose money in this business. So the engineering part is to know how to make the building, how to build the building. And the law is how to understand the risks that are involved, a lot of risks from the beginning to the end and later on. Each building you develop is like a children. You never get loose of them. They keep with you all the time with all the passive that is in this business. Computer science is the technology. It's always technology. Data. I was hearing your last podcast about data
Yeah.
driven. So computer science is like that. Finance, you don't need to explain. Finance is the last line, is the most important line of the business. You have to understand all the other lines to make it work, right, Stephen? So what I've been doing in all my career is trying to have the experience and the knowledge to make it better and less risky, which is very hard to do because it's not easy to make money in the real estate business.
Amazing. And Ricardo, do you focus on commercial properties or residential type of properties or both?
Okay, most in residential, but also in commercial, retail, and other sectors of real estate. So I've tried to. I have a communication part of my business. You were asking what I do today. Today I have a Reis Real Estate, uh, my company. We have three kind of work. I structure or I develop real estate and REITs, real estate investment trusts. This is one part of the business. Like the big business is this one, which is seldom to make it work. It's very difficult to make a development. So this is the when I make the big moves. Uh, Everyday life, I manage big buildings, the biggest buildings in my city, which are mixed use, commercial, retail, and residential and hotel. And the other part is communication and education. The communication, I have a podcast, I have a radio program, and in education, I have this course I do in internet and this real estate with University of Paris. So that's try to involve all the people I can get with. I have interviewed more than 100 leaders of this market, the biggest leaders in the industry in Brazil. And with this knowledge and network, I try to get some for me and to pass to other people, learning directly, not from professors, but from the leaders themselves, the ones that had been difficult in their lives and had to turn around and make it better, and they have a lot of experience and success, so the students can get knowledge directly from the leaders themselves.
Amazing. And you know, this is such an interesting aspect that you're doing not only for yourself but also with other leaders as well. Are you able to share maybe some of the let's say top 2 to 3 lessons that you're hearing from other leaders or that you share with other leaders on you know on your topics? You've mentioned about courses that you're doing, but also podcasts as well, or radio talk. Are there things that you have drawn out as key lessons that you want to share?
Yes, sure. uh, First of all, myself, I had have been a lot of success in early age, a lot of troubles in the middle. I have recovered, and this is the normal life of a developer in Brazil, in Europe, in United States, everywhere. Because real estate is a cycle market. When it's good, everybody enters. There is very few enter barriers. So it's very easy to enter. If you have money, or if you have land, if you have the tenant, you can start to be a developer or an investor. So it's very easy to enter. So when the market is good, everybody tries to enter. So the supply part, it's immense. And as the real estate building to be built takes 2 to 5 years from the approvals of the projects, development of the projects, the building and everything. When everybody enters the market and the supply is being built, when this supply comes to the market, the demand is already taken. So there is a upside and a downside, and this is typical of this market. It happens here. It happened in 2008 in the United States. It happened in 1999. It happened in every 7 to 10 years. The market has this cycle. So what happened is that to be successful in this market, it's not my word, it's the word from the people who had the IPOs of the biggest companies in Brazil, had say, you have to be focused. The first rule that they say, and I agree with them, is you have to choose one place to invest, because you have to see what's going on. You have to go to the site. You have to understand the demand. You have to understand the supply that's competing with you, so that you know what's the best time to enter, to exit, to sell, for what price, what's the cost of that, and you don't lose control. So the first thing is to have control and to be more precise. You have to choose one place and be there, not try to be everywhere. There is no big company in real estate in all over the world. No, only consultants. You don't have a developing or a building company going everywhere. So real estate market is a local market. That's the first rule. I can go on if you let me. I can.
No. I would like to hear, and just building on that one. I mean, like, what is the biggest? I think you've mentioned this, but I'm just keen to hear this. What is the biggest gap that you're actually seeing at the moment in real estate?
So the biggest gap, when the interest rate is high, the real estate market is down. When the interest rate is low, the real estate market is good, because to buy real estate or to develop or to build, it costs a lot of money. Yeah. Most of the people who, when they buy their home or their properties, is the most expensive buy they have in their lives. Yeah. So they don't have all the money. They have to lend the money. When the money is cheap with low interest rate, everybody can buy. The market is being increased very fast. And now that we have the inflation going up, and to try to control the inflation, the best way economic theory say, and all the central banks are trying to do, is to try to increase the interest rate. When the interest rate is increased, real estate go down. So yeah. Now what's going on is that people who already bought their properties, and they have the interest rate low, they're gonna keep with these properties. They're not going to sell. They're not going to buy a new one, because they already have the lowest monthly payment they can. Yeah. And the new people who need to buy real estate are going to have difficulties, because with a higher real estate, they need to have more money, more down payment, more revenue, monthly revenue or yearly revenue, and they will have to buy a smaller property, a smaller apartment, a smaller commercial building. So the market all over the world is going to be down in real estate in the next years, until this inflation is controlled until until the interest is going to be low.
Yeah.
But in Brazil, it's interesting, Steven. In Brazil, we already raised our interest rate in the beginning of the year. So our inflation now, which was increasing a lot, is going down. Is very, very in a good shape. And in the reverse, in other countries in Europe, where you are now, in United States, and even in Asia, the interest rates are still low. They need to get higher to control the inflation, which is out of control yet.
Yeah.
So the real estate market in the world are going to feel this impact of the interest rate, and the markets must be a little bad in the next near future. And in Brazil, we already have this inflation in control. Our interest rate is very high right now. It's almost 14% per year. And our inflation was more than 10% a year before. Now it's close to 6%. So maybe in Brazil, if we have this new president that was recently elected, improving the market and keeping the inflation down and the interest rate down, maybe the real estate market is going to be better in the in the near future.
Yeah, yeah, it is. As you were just describing, it is a global issue, right? The interest rates, the inflation, every country is taking measures. And as you were describing this, the from a buyer perspective, from a seller perspective, how you navigate through that. Some of them it's a wait and see. Some of them is a jump on it. I mean, there are different schools of thought. I'm like here in the UK. And in parts of the US as well. I'm actually from Canada, so I'm hearing different stories. I'm saying some of them were basically saying yes, of course we've got an inflation, we've got interest rates rising, but is it really impacting the real estate where people want to buy property? They will go ahead and buy property if they've got the monies. So the different schools of thought, and I was curious to hear about your views and which you have articulated, and you also mentioned about the elections, which is quite critical in terms of policy change and how the financial markets will be navigated in Brazil as well. Do you feel confident that things will potentially change or actually change for the better in the next 6 to 12 months?
Okay, Steven. Yeah, yes, I think so, because the first thing I told you that the real estate market is a local market, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
second thing is the interest rate is the most important drive of this market. And the third thing, and maybe one of the most important of all, is supply and demand.
yeah,
That's what's really important in this market, and you have to understand that to make money. And you can make money in all the cycles. The most successful investors in real estate, they are entering the market in the low cycle when everybody is going out and the market is a crashed market. They are entering, buying cheap. And this is the third thing I would like to tell to your public. So what they do, these investors, to check in the short market, as you are asking me now, or the middle or the long market, they are always comparing the price of the market price, the price of the real estate property in the market, to the cost to rebuild that same building. So let's say you have a building that cost $1 million,
yeah,
and the market price now is 1 million. So the market is level.
yeah,
But if the market price is 1.5 and the cost is 1 million, that's a hot market. A lot of people are going to enter the market to try to make this $500,000 in profit.
yeah,
And that's difficult to do, because when the market is already like this, a lot of people are entering. It's not easy to make this money. Sometimes the tide is going to change, and you have to know how many people are entering in the market, and it's very difficult to do that. You don't communicate with all the investors.
Yeah.
And the other side is the market price is 1 million. I'm sorry, the cost of the property was 1 million, and the market price is 700,000 or 500,000, as already happened in many times.
Yeah.
So that's the when the people enter the market. Nowadays in Brazil, the market is hot. For the last years, the COVID pandemic was very serious here. We lost 600,000 people, and we feel sorry for everybody who had lost people in there. And but our interest rate in those times was the lowest interest rate in Brazil in history, was 2% a year. We never heard about it. So what happened is, was surprisingly, the real estate market was booming at this time. Nowadays, we have balance, equilibrium, and with this new government, we don't know what's going to happen. Now that this is the beginning of the new government, the stock market, the construction companies are very high because they are thinking that the market is going to be better for the real estate market. We don't know yet. That's just a short uh, speculation, right?
Yeah.
But I think that in the 6 to 12 months, we are going to have still keep the market strong in Brazil. But I think in the world, the real estate market is going to be down for the short periods.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Ricardo. It's amazing about your insights there. Ricardo, you're a leader in your own right. Considering all the all the businesses that you have that you're leading and all the things that you're promoting and educating locally. Share with us one thing that's your secret formula to your success as a leader.
To hear people. I like to hear people to understand what's going on, and the best way to do it is like this program you have, interviewing people. You have to get know people, and just to listen the podcast, like people who are listening here. And with my podcast, which is the biggest podcast in construction in Brazil, I meet people everywhere in Brazil, and they come to thank me that they are hearing from the experience of the biggest developers and investors when they are into the gym, when they are driving in the traffic. And so I think the biggest secret is to hear from people who are already in the market for a long time, who already experience the downs and ups in their lives, in their countries, cycles, and in the real estate market. So hear from the other people who has more experience, maybe is the key. I can tell you and your listeners.
It's such an important aspect, isn't it? Because listening is so powerful, and you're able to take those insights and then help effect change in the industry as well, because you're hearing some great insights from different people. So I can completely relate to that one, Ricardo.
And you don't know when you're going to use what you're listening. That's in this weekend we had classes with one of the best strategy people in Brazil, and the classmate, the students was asking him, we are listening all this, but where or when can we use this? Because I don't see when I can use this. And he was explaining José Paim, which is the professor who was telling that, who is not a professor, he's a businessman. He was saying, in my professional life, I made a lot of courses and a lot of experiences, and we never know when we're going to use what we learn. But when the opportunity comes and you have the knowledge, you will use it. You will have the knowledge to use it. In short, you are not going to lose an opportunity when
Yeah,
you see it
yeah,
because you already have the knowledge, and then you can spot and see the opportunity, and you can take the advantage of it.
yeah, yeah. No, amazing. Ricardo, tell us a little bit more about you. What does a day in the life of Ricardo look like, morning to evening? I know you've got quite a few strands of things that you do, but just keen to hear about how you manage all of this morning to evening.
Okay. Uh, I develop a way of myself, but after that, I learned from the one of the best writers about the how to schedule your time. So what I do is I start in the morning, very early in the morning, and I do the most important thing of the day. Every day I have one, two, or three things I have to do before I go to sleep. And I do it right away, right in the beginning of the morning. Even if I have to plan something or send an email or make a business plan or write a letter or a communication. So I do it right away. And after I do it, as it is very early, people are not working yet. I'm not receiving calls or emails. I do it like by myself. After that, I go out and do whatever I have to do. The most important thing first. So first things first. That's the main role. And in the morning, I do everything I have to do. And in the afternoon, then I make the calls or network. I go visit people. I can plan things for later, for the medium or long term. I do it in the afternoon, but in the afternoon is much easier because I already have done all I had to do before lunch. And after 5 o'clock, I go to the gym or go play golf or something for fun, and I sleep early too. So the important thing is first thing first.
Yeah, amazing. I like the way you described it, and you can definitely achieve very good outcomes with that kind of a schedule and mindset as well. Ricardo, we're coming to a close very shortly. Are there any closing messages or challenges to people in your industry or to other leaders that you want to share, regardless of sector as well?
Yes, I will share one of the lessons I've learned from uh, Guilherme Benchimol, which is the CEO and the founder of XP. It's the biggest bank in Brazil now, investment bank.
Yeah,
And he is an entrepreneur who came from zero and now is one of the biggest bankers in Brazil, bigger than JP Morgan, Merrill Lynch in Brazil. He's the biggest one of them. And he told me that uh, do small steps. You have to take risks. There is no way you're going to increase and be a medium or a large company if you don't take risks. But you cannot take a bigger risk than your cash flow or your working capital.
yeah,
So you don't know as an entrepreneur what to do, what will work, what will not work. So you have a business plan, you do a small step. If it works, you do a little larger step and go on. If something goes bad, and it's most probable that it will something go bad, you just take the step back, change the route, and try again. And as you have savings, you can do it in different ways. And hopefully, in the long run, you're going to have success. And even if you have success, which is something that people have success and then they do their biggest mistakes because the ego comes inside. It happened with everybody. It happened to me too. It will happen to everybody in the future who doesn't take care. So even you have success and you have to take another step, don't go bigger than you can. This is the biggest lesson. To take the step, you can come back again and try again.
Yeah, amazing. No, words of wisdom from Ricardo. Thank you very much for being with us today and for sharing your journey, but also giving those valuable insights on the construction industry and the local market and some great lessons as well. Thank you very much, Ricardo, for your time.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I hope everybody can learn something from the lessons I had from people I've been telling you here, and that my English is sufficient to people understanding me. And hopefully, I see you again later on. Thank you. Bye bye.
Wonderful, Ricardo. Thank you very much. Okay, folks, thank you very much for listening in, and stay tuned for our next episode where we will hear from an executive leader on an ecosystem that he is building, and how he's actually transforming the industry. Stay tuned and listen in for the next episode. Hey, I hope you enjoy the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You're now seeing this part of the video also because you consume some of my content, insights, and teachings. Maybe you've been to my LinkedIn page or website or seen other social media ads or listened to my podcast. I'm Stephen Paul, a business and transformational executive coach, strategic advisor, leader, and board member. I've been in diverse roles, corporate executive, entrepreneur, and worked with businesses and firms of all sizes, built and launched businesses, created high-impact boards, and so forth in 4 continents. I get it. I've been there, done that, but what is different is I bring a unique perspective and a playbook. I've helped 100+ business leaders just like you to scale and align their leadership top teams, the board, and overall business for growth. Leaders like Ivana from medium-sized company in the EU who grew 150% and expanded globally in under 5 months. After she started to work with me over facilitated sessions in an initial 3 days, I helped fine-tune their strategy and align their leadership team and board to be a cohesive driving force to achieve their dreams and outcomes. I want to teach you the same thing and more on how to scale and align your leadership team and board so you can increase your business growth and value. Get clarity on what is the next right strategy for you. There are multiple ways we can work with you. Number 1, click the link for a free, non-obligatory 60-minute initial strategic session. Let's get a feel for your dreams, your vision, your challenges, and let me convert that into a route map for you where we can co-develop and co-pilot. Number 2, enroll in an innovative and intuitive digital online course that I have created to help you transform. It's called Unshakable Resilience. It is the ultimate program for individuals and business leaders like you who want to be equipped at a personal and professional level to respond to any form of challenges or in crisis situations and take on opportunities with grit, resilience, and build a mindset of success. In essence, you want to be unshakable, thrive in crisis, take on opportunities in the face of adversity, and build a success mindset. So, click the link below to learn more on how I can personally help you individually and your firm to scale and align your leadership team and business and pivot in a transformational way. And for you to experience this, whatever the challenge you're facing, get in touch with me. Let's discuss, and I will share my insight rapidly to enable your transformation. Click the links below.